NewsX and the News Hub. Now imagine this. You've been standing in line for almost 30 days, either in a bank line or an ATM line to exchange maybe 3,000, 4,000, withdraw 20,000 rupees. Here is an individual who was sent to jail because he's known as the mining baron of Bellary, Janardhan Reddy, for illegally taking out iron ore and sending it off to China at a great profit. He's also infamous for having had a 500 crore rupee wedding for his daughter just a few weeks ago. Now, the driver of one of his associates has committed suicide. He has left behind a very long suicide note. In this suicide note, this driver says that he was witness to Janardhan Reddy, a bureaucrat from the Karnataka Administrative Service. He's also named a member of parliament in a 100 crore rupee money laundering racket. Yes, this driver claims he knows how Janardhan Reddy converted 100 crores in old notes into 100 rupee notes or new notes. He says that he was witness to these transactions taking place. A massive storm has broken out, but no one, not all the netas who went and trooped around from the Congress as well as the BJP, including an ex-chief minister who went for that 500 crore wedding bash, have instituted a larger probe. The cops are, of course, investigating the suicide, but the man on your screens, that is Ramesh Gowda, who has died, the driver. You saw Janardhan Reddy. Why is this mining baron of Karnataka untouchable? Why is it that between the bureaucrats, the big rich people who got convicted and gone to jail, still remain above us all, have absolutely no problems in exchanging their cash, and when they get whistle blown on them, even at the cost of a death, nothing still happens. Listen into a whole host of reactions, breaking developments meanwhile coming in. I've just been told that the deceased driver's kin have now demanded a probe on the Karnataka officer who was part of the exchanging conspiracy to be arrested. These are protests that broke out earlier during the day. These are relatives, you see, of the deceased driver. They're protesting, demanding there for a probe. My colleague is joining us on the broadcast to take us through the latest details, but we just wanted to point out this is the latest development that's happened. Meanwhile, in a second piece of breaking news coming our way, sources have told us that the cops are now likely to quiz this Karnataka Administrative Service KAS officer Bhima Nayak, who is now one of the principal accused in this suicide note. Technically, he can be charged with abetment. This has been plastered all over this news channel, being broadcast right across the length and breadth of the country. One wonders how long the Karnataka police is going to take to question this individual, but they haven't done so yet. Meanwhile, in an update on that front, I am now also being told that a police case has been filed against Bhima Nayak for abetment of suicide. Another driver working for the official has also been named in this case. So Bhima Nayak, the KAS officer who's been named in the suicide note, has had a police case filed against him, but so far not Janardhan Reddy. We managed to also speak with the Home Minister of Karnataka, G. Parmeshwara, on what happened. He says a probe is underway. Believe it or not, listen into him first.
See, all these things, unless we verify, unless the information is definite, and we will not come to some conclusions. So let us know the information properly, and let the authorities inform us. Then we will definitely react to that and see what best we can do or take action, whatever is necessary. BJP, they have to make comments. They are in the opposition. They have to make comments. But we are in the government. We are a responsible people. We will have to verify and then react to that or take action.
100 crores. I'm pretty sure none of our viewers watching this broadcast out there who have been stung by this honesty drive right across the country and having to bear the pain to crack down on black money have seen how much 100 crores in cash looks like. You're talking, and my reporter in Bengaluru joining us on the broadcast, we are talking stacks and stacks, cartons and cartons, suitcases and suitcases of money that would have had to be transferred. It's taken, imagine the allegation that a Karnataka administrative service bureaucrat was involved. The driver in his suicide notes gives excruciating details. We're putting them out at the bottom of your screens in the tell-all suicide note of how exactly the money was laundered. And all of this information is now out into the public domain. It remains to be seen what happens with this information. Let me go straight across to Bengaluru, where my reporter is joining us live on the broadcast. We've heard G. Parmeshwar Reddy say there is a probe going to happen, but who's going to conduct this probe?
In fact, this was the very question which was raised to Home Minister G. Parameshwar, who went on to say that as of now, the Madhu Rural Police is handling the case, and he's awaiting the preliminary reports, and once the reports are out, he will be able to take a decision whether a more competent authority or a larger organization or investigating agency like a CID may take up the case. But as of now, he says that the rural police is competent enough to handle a suicide case. When he was reminded of the fact that the veracity of the case, the gravity of the case, wherein big names of BJP like Gali Janardhan Reddy and his own government official Bhima Nayak, his name has been mentioned as a primary person who has driven this driver to take this extreme step.
Okay,
he says that let us wait for the report.
Just stay with me, Jayaprakash. I'm going to get those graphics we were running on your screens once again of the tell-all suicide note. Now let's go through this point by point. After that, I've got more breaking developments coming in. This individual, who is the driver of a known associate, well, we'll break the information first and come back obviously to the graphics later when my producers follow what I'm saying. Meanwhile, let me tell you that the opposition has demanded a judicial probe now into this incident. The Congress, of course, which is the opposition at the center, but in government in Karnataka, are demanding a judicial probe. It's strange why the government can't in Karnataka order a judicial probe itself. Meanwhile, let's go quickly back to the graphics. And let's put them out on the tell-all suicide note and what it says. Now, Jayaprakash, in this suicide note, very specific details are given, including car numbers, in which hotel, in which place, at what time the transactions to convert these 100 crore rupees took place. This is a wedding that just took place less than 2 weeks ago. It was a highly public, ostentatious wedding. It is publicly known that 500 crore rupees was spent. The man whose daughter was getting married has been convicted and then released on corruption charges. He was prosecuted by the former Lokayukta. How does it happen, Jayaprakash, that this individual faces nothing, no action? There were some token police raids, income tax raids that were conducted a couple of weeks ago, but it's not like Janardhan Reddy has had to face any harassment at all. Why is that?
Well, as you can see, it was another major embarrassment for the BJP, thanks to Reddy, the ostentatious wedding that happened in Bangalore, where over 500 crores was spent for his daughter's wedding. In fact, this was pegged as his political comeback, a stage wherein he would reintroduce himself into mainstream politics. But it's all now in the hands of Yediyurappa, who actually holds the fort for the BJP in the state. He's preparing for the 2018 assembly elections, and that he has to take everybody along. And Reddy cannot be left
Jayaprakash, the reality
back,
is,
because he in fact bankrolled the BJP elections as
introspection time for the BJP. Remember, this is their flagship drive to convince India that black money is being targeted. Here is an individual who has made pretty much a dying declaration. He's dead. We have the tragedy amid all of this. Let's not ignore it. This individual at the pain of death has pulled out this information. He's blown the whistle. Now it's up to the government at the center, the government at the state, to figure out what to do with this information and answer to the people of this country. How is it that we have to stand in line while these guys can load up their cash in a car, go to some hotel according to the driver, and get a government babu to exchange the cash for them? It's completely shocking. Political reactions have been coming in through the day. We keep these graphics on your screen. The car numbers are there. The locations are there. Answers are yet to be seen. Listen in first.
उनके तो कई हजार करोड़ों का उन पर आरोप है और कई हजार करोड़ पकड़े भी गए थे, इसीलिए तो वो जेल में कांग्रेस के शासन में उनको कांग्रेस जेल में डाला गया था, उसकी पूरी इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए कि उनके स्टाफ ने क्यों आत्महत्या की। उसके पीछे कोई बहुत बड़ा राज छुपा हुआ है और स्टेट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट दोनों से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि उसकी पूरी इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए।
Entire money has come into banks, and the whole issue that we will expose 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs crores as black money, that thing is over. You couldn't get a single penny out of this whole exercise of demonetization. So it has failed, the policy has failed completely. So I think the government has committed a blunder by doing this, and this Karnataka episode has exposed the BJP leaders also.